Hey everyone, this is Bruce here with another video, and today I'm going over a few different things. First off, going over the results of what happened at Money in the Bank yesterday. Just gotta turn to the right page here in a second. So let's start off with that. The show started off with Trish Stratus, who was the host. Or she put it, the hostess with the mostest. Welcome everybody, basically, and Samantha Irvin, the ring announcer, sang the Star Spangled Banner, and then a Canadian artist, Raylan James, or however you say his name, sang "O Canada," and there was 19,858 people in attendance, which is pretty wild. And the first match was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match with Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre, in which, as to be expected in a any kind of ladder match, there's a lot of chaos, people being thrown off ladders, thrown into ladders, ladders being thrown at people. But in the end of it all, Drew McIntyre climbed the ladder and retrieved the briefcase. So for the time being, he was Mr. Money in the Bank. And I say for the time being because of a point I'll get to in a little bit. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then it was Sami Zayn defending against Braun Breaker in a very kind of David and Goliath kind of situation here. Where for most of the match, Breaker was, well, trying to break Sami. And Sami, being the underdog, just kept fighting and in the end prevailed and kept the Intercontinental Championship. And it was officially announced that in October WWE is going to be having the Bad Blood event again in honor of the first ever Hell in a Cell match. And then Trish came out again with a special announcement that John Cena was in the building. And here's when things got a little sad. Because John officially announced his retirement from WWE. And said that 2025 will be his final full year as an active superstar. And then he later went on to say in the press conference that with all the people that say like, oh, I'm retired and never coming back, and then they do, Cena was like, I'm staying to that word. So thank you so much for everything, John. I'll talk a little more about my experiences of being a Cena fan a little bit after I get done with going over the results of the event. So look forward to that later in the video. And then next it was Seth Rollins challenging Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship, in which if Seth Rollins lost the match, he could no longer challenge for the world title as long as Priest is champion. But if Damian lost, he would have to leave the Judgment Day. And the two gave each other quite the match, back and forth, as I like to call it, or as like a lot of people seem to like to call it, wrestling tennis. near the end, there was a really weird instance where the referee stopped during the counting of 1, 2, 3, where I'm assuming Damien was supposed to kick out, or there was like a miscommunication about what was about to transpire with Drew McIntyre coming out to try to cash in Money in the Bank. I don't know. But, yeah, McIntyre came out, cashed in, made it an official triple threat match. But then, as I figured would happen in the actual Money in the Bank ladder match itself, CM Punk got involved. Not only did he cost Drew the championship, but he also cost Rollins the title as well, causing Damian Priest to retain. So there's definitely adding a lot more bad blood, if you will, to the situation between McIntyre and Punk, and also building up a feud for Seth and CM Punk as well. And then it was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, in which, let me tell you, everybody was like absolutely crazy in this one. And in that match, it was Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. And kind of like in the men's match, bodies were being thrown everywhere, ladders being tossed around, even at one point people going through tables. But in the end, Tiffany Stratton climbed the ladder, and it's going to be Tiffy time! Blech. Then sometime after that, Trish Stratus was having an interview, and then Stratton interrupted of that, possibly leading to a match between those two down the line, which would be interesting. Then it was main event time, in which I really got frustrated. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens going against what I like to call the fake bloodline, consisting of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, or Tongaloa, whichever one that was, and the newest recruit, Jacob Fatu. And as to be expected between those groups, it was pure chaos. Because, I mean, their whole history just kind of just lend itself easily to something like that. But in near the closing moments of the match, the referee got taken out. Bloodline started cheating, and at one point I had to write it down because it made me chuckle a little bit. Kevin Owens took a big version of the Prime bottle, like that stuff that he who should not be named right now it tries to promote. Bonked it against one of the members of the Bloodline set. I can't remember who it was. I thought that was pretty funny. But then my humor became dismay because the fake Bloodline won. But I just gotta try to remember. 50-50 booking. Good guys win. Bad guys lose. Bad guys win, good guys lose. But anyway, yeah. For the most part, enjoyable show. And in terms of my predictions, I got only one right. Which ain't too bad to be considered. But it is what it is. And now onto a somewhat I guess more lighthearted and kind of somber note. Let's talk a little about Big Match John Cena. Now, when I first got into watching wrestling, some of the first ones I was introduced to was Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock, a lot of those classic stars and legends. And ever since I was a kid, John's been one of my favorites. So hearing that he's finally deciding to retire, it saddens me a little bit, but it's also like good on him for trying to go on his own terms. So best of luck in the future endeavors, John. And because I promised my cousin Nick that in one of my other videos, in a new video that I would do at some point, I would do an impression of John Cena. I'm going to try to do one in a little bit here. So, let's get that. You can't see me. The champ is here. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to end this video here. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Leave a comment on what you thought of Money in the Bank, and or what you think about John Cena's retirement. And until the next video, I will see you next time. Bye.